Hey everybody, today I wanted to bring you a quick message because today is Wednesday. We're coming into the penumbral lunar eclipse on Friday, which is going to be in Pisces, and things are starting to heat up. The sun is also squaring Mars. You might be noticing that like some serious anger, rage, frustrations are coming up. It could be that you're feeling tested and provoked by the enemy right now. And you really want to be cautious in your reaction. You want to take a moment to breathe, to be patient, and to respond and not react. Because remember, the enemy always wants you to react immediately, to react emotionally, to react from, your inner child who's wounded, rather than the adult who's thinking clearly and has taken time to really, take a look at the situation and observe it and be the witness of what's going on, and then respond very effectively to deal with whatever is coming up. So this lunar eclipse is going to be bringing up a lot of old pain. It's also conjuncting Chiron, and Chiron is about the wound. But the amazing thing is that Chiron is also the healer. So here's your opportunity, right? Over the next several days, things are going to be getting really intense between now and Saturday. That wound, that pain, it's going to be touched. It's like the universe is just going to go in there and hit it in some way. Like something spontaneous is going to happen, or someone in your life is going to do something. Someone from your past could come back. Mercury is also retrograde right now. You could be getting some kind of hoovering attempt from an abusive person. So be very aware, be very mindful, be sure immediately not to respond, not to react immediately, just step away from it, take a big step away from it. Whatever situation you're getting yourself into and it's like it's just not working out and you're trying so damn hard and it's just not working, take a step back. It's not supposed to work right now, and it's not supposed to work for a reason. There's another path. This eclipse is coming. It's going to eclipse something in our life, right? Something dies and then a new door is open. So let that thing that dies be the pain, be the trauma, be the anger, the sadness, the grief that you've been holding on to. Utilize this opportunity to purge that shit so you can move forward through a new door. Oops, sorry, something just came across my screen. So take this opportunity to purge that old stuff, so you can move through this new door, not take that pain with you. Don't let that pain get the best of you. Right now, it's going to feel really intense, especially with the sun and Mars square that's going on, like it's being heated up, right? So everything happens for a reason. So if an enemy, someone came into your life, like, I don't know, a psychopath stalker, right? Comes into your life and starts to provoke you. What are they provoking? They're provoking that old trauma. So remember, that old trauma only lives in the darkness. It only survives in what's hidden. That trauma is buried. The emotional trauma from your past, from the abusive situations, is buried inside your body in the cellular memory, in the emotional memory that you've kept from that. And so this new person comes into your life, or this new situation comes, or this old person comes back again, and they touch that again. And so what happens is it comes up and out, right? So that we can release it. So we can see it, so we can feel it, so we can move through it. So I think that's the lesson coming into this eclipse right now, is to be able to move through the pain and know that you have to move through it to come out the other side. You actually have to feel it. Many years ago when I was in acupressure school, I had this awesome teacher, and one time he was doing a session on me, and suddenly I felt this pain somewhere, and it was just really, really intense. And I didn't say anything, but he saw the look on my face and he said, "Do you have pain?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Where?" And I showed him, and he goes, "Okay, so take a breath now, and if you would, extend beyond and through the pain with the breath." And he was right. And I also learned this lesson, I had the memory many years ago, around the year 2000 through 2003, I was having a lot of really intense symptoms, probably related to the lymphoma, which I never allowed the doctors to diagnose. I didn't allow them to cut out, my lymph gland. But one of the symptoms, I think, was the spleen enlarged, and I didn't understand at the time. All I knew was that out of nowhere, this intense and debilitating pain would come under my left rib cage, and it would be so bad that it would I would stop breathing because it hurt if I took a breath. It hurt if I even breathed a tiny bit into my lungs. And I would try to avoid the pain, and it was just so bad. And it would come on at any time. I was teaching school at the time. I could be in the middle of teaching a class, and suddenly this pain would come on, and I'd have to find a way to get through it. And eventually I got to the point where it was so bad that I just moved through it. I just took a deep breath, and it hurt and it hurt. And the deeper I breathed, the more it hurt, and the more it hurt, and the more it hurt. But I just kept breathing and breathing and breathing into the epicenter of that pain. And then poof, something popped. And I felt like literally something released under my rib cage. And it was like this rubber band, something moved, something released, and then it was gone. And then every time that pain would come back like that, I would do that same practice where I would take that deep breath and I would breathe into the epicenter of that pain and through. And with my breath, I would move beyond the pain. And eventually I taught myself how to deal with pain in that way. Eventually that pain went away because I got healthier. But so whatever pain is coming up in your life, whether it's something physical you feel in your body, for whatever reason, my body does that. It has like a psychosomatic response to emotional trauma coming up. Something will happen inside my body, I'll feel it in a painful way. And maybe for you it's in your body, maybe for you it's just like this emotional pain that you can't really put your finger on, but you feel it. It's like in your thoughts, it's in some kind of generalized, sense around you, or some just really painful situation in your life. Maybe you're looking at it, in that sort of way. But whatever pain is coming up for you over these next several days, recognize that this is an opportunity to move through a new door. To let go of whatever that was by moving through it and not stuffing it away and not walking around it and not trying to ignore it, but actually breathing into and through and beyond it. You have to feel it to heal it. And that's what that is. And you don't have to stay in it, right? And that's the thing. Sometimes we're just like so afraid that like if we go into it, we're going to get stuck there. Like there's going to be no way out, because that's like the past memory of things. We didn't have the same tools that we have now in the present to deal with that. And so now that we know you can move through and beyond the pain, that's a whole new option. So whatever pain is coming up for you, I encourage you to embrace that, to move through it, to look for new opportunities, to realize that whatever is not working out in your life, it's for some reason. Accept that right now the universe has a bigger plan, God has a bigger plan, there's some reason for that, and I think like the most amazing thing is like the paradoxical nature of this reality in this life. Like people ask like why sometimes when things are going so well, all of a sudden this past abusive person shows up, or some new person shows up with some new lesson that triggers the same old feelings of trauma, or, some kind of loss comes up or something like that, and people question like, why? And often what will happen is like, when you're in that moment of everything is so amazing and you are finally like moving forward and you're opening that door and you're stepping into new spaces and new realities, that counterforce in the universe, call it Satan or satanic energy or the dark forces or whatever that is, that seems to show up most prominently right in that moment when you're about to move through, like how it's always darkest before the dawn. And so trust that if that's coming up right now, it's because on the other side of that is something totally amazing. And maybe you're already starting to get a glimpse of that over the last several weeks. I know I have some drastic changes have taken place in my life. And I don't think it's a coincidence, that this psychopath stalker is coming up right now, as all of this amazing stuff is changing and transforming. And, just if you're getting overwhelmed, you need to take a time out, right? Give your little inner child a time out. Go breathe, go meditate, go dance, go eat some delicious healthy foods, go soak in the hot tub, or take a nice long shower, or take a walk. Whatever you need to do to shift your state, and don't just stay stuck, in that and just churning it in your mind and trying to solve the problem and everything. Maybe the problem's not solvable right now. Maybe the point is you just need to see what's there. What is actually the emotion behind that? Maybe there's something deeper than you actually see. The emotion, get to the feeling, There's the situation, there's the occurrences and the things that happen and the thoughts that we have about it. But what is the emotion? What is the feeling at the core of all that? That's where you want to go. That's where the pain is at. That's also where the treasure is that you can extract from this to come out the other side. So I am sending you all a big hug as we move through this awesome change taking place right now. And if you have anything to share, please go ahead and leave your comments below. And I will be in touch soon.